it do? What it do, folks? We got James, we got
Hey, what
Tallboy.
happened?
Oh, see, he had to go get his hat. There it is. He had to go get the whole uniform on. I
See,
ain't
see,
mad at
see how you
that,
do me,
brother.
man?
I just throw all your business out there in the street. Tell everybody
No,
you
man.
wasn't ready.
But you didn't see how I just slid. You know how they say you slide in the DMs? I just
You,
slid right into the show.
you slid right into it, brother. Just smooth as out. Now, if you had fell out your chair, I'd have had something to say if you fell out your chair. That'd have been a bad thing.
No, man, we're not doing that around here, brother. We're not doing that. I'm a little
Yes,
safe.
sir. Okay.
How's life treating you out there on the West Coast?
Okay, well, I appreciate you. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. It's been a little tumultuous for the past couple of weeks, and don't ask me how to spell that, but the first time I've used that word. We doing okay. We back on the mend in terms of trying to get things going. Half of the state is still on fire, so that's a problem. But the family's trying to recover from all that, and we all have our health, which is all that really matters at this particular point. So.
How's your family with the personal situation that was all on CNN?
Yeah, we was on front there, weren't we? We had split screen. Our place was on fire, and right next to it was Nancy Pelosi. So nothing like having all your business out there on national news.
Did they ask you for permission? That's what I want to know.
They didn't know. So apparently, it was a local reporter or a videographer that was up there shooting the images, and they sold the images and the videos to all the major news networks. So it had nothing to do with us. We didn't own that particular clip. We didn't own that media. So he sold it to major news networks. Next thing you know, we're on CNN, ABC, Fox, and all that.
So let me ask you this, and I know we got to get into the show, but can they legally get away with that? Because that's your personal property.
They can, and it wasn't specifically the person taking the video was actually a licensed registered press representative, right? He was up there filming freedom of the press, right? Doing their job, capturing the event of the day. That's just what they do. It's very similar to paparazzi, right? You take photo. Paparazzi is not legal, but the press is legal. They have all this content. They sell it to major news outlets and major media outlets, so that message can be disseminated. We really didn't have any. We didn't like it. We would have loved to have someone inform us, but there's no legal recourse to having the location filmed.
Gotcha. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad everyone is safe, and like I said, you'll rebuild.
Yeah, we will.
Lost, but you'll rebuild.
Hey, my wife had me printing out blueprints today, so something's going on. They already look. They planning something, which is a positive. So, what about you, brother? What's going on the East Coast? Talk to us.
Unfortunately today we got Breonna Taylor, and we got a special election that's going on here in Georgia. And if you've been on my timeline, I'm not really happy with some foolishness that's going on here in the state of Georgia. And I think that personally, I don't know. I don't really want to get political on the show, but John Lewis, we celebrated him. We always cherished him. He's now gone. And unfortunately, we have a special. It's really confusing. It's a 2-part series. You got a special election that's supposed to take place next Saturday on the 29th, to fill out the remainder of his term. And if the 7 people that are running for the election or for his seat, if they don't get 51% of the vote, you have to come back on December 1st. Okay. Then you have the November 3rd election, and they will start the new term when they vote against either the Democrat or the Republican candidate that's going up. So it's a 2-part series, and I think a lot of people are not really they don't really understand the process, shall we say. And so you're literally about to vote 2, maybe 3 times, and people are not going to understand what's going on. And unfortunately, on the Republican side, you have a young lady who went to prison. She got pardoned by Donald Trump, and she's now running for that seat.
Mm.
You have another young lady who basically, I want to just say she, I don't want to misspeak, but she kind of she just kind of put herself in the slot because she's the Georgia Democratic leader. So
Okay.
there's no democracy as far as voters. They don't have a say. And she's refusing to do interviews, shall we say, or not interviews. She's refusing to debate her opponent. And basically, it's not fair to Georgia voters. And I called something. You have to go on my Facebook page, and I was not happy about the situation when I read it. And they said the best thing to do if you ever want to hide something from somebody or from us, put it in a book or put it in writing. I just so happened to read it, and I've been angry ever since.
I would say you are doing your due diligence, though, brother. I have seen you do some one-off sessions by yourself, right? Just talking about this and trying to raise awareness, raise some visibility. First and foremost, props to you on that for putting in that work and getting in that good trouble. We know about that. But let's make sure everyone, and we won't go into the political spectrum, but maybe we will on another day, but everyone needs to be registered to vote. And if you don't vote, you don't have a voice. So on November 3rd, make sure you get out there. I don't care what you got to do. If you got to stand in line, stand in the rain, stand in the snow, mail it in, do whatever you got to do to make sure you're heard. And if you don't vote, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
You have nothing to talk about on November the 4th. So,
right. Well, the
right.
last thing that I'll say about this, and we can go right into the tech. John Lewis said it best. If you see something that's not right, not fair, or not just, you have a moral obligation to do something about it. And I don't care. And the bad thing about the whole situation is the person that I'm complaining about, her husband had ties with John Lewis while he was in office, and she is near and dear to him. So it's like, it's not right. And it's like, what can you really do? And it's just like, I'm calling a spade a spade. I'm calling BS. And, it's like, what John Lewis stood for, and it's not right what you're doing. So like I said, I just tell people to Google, research, look up every candidate on both sides. I don't care who you vote for. Just do your research and then go vote.
There it is. There it is.
Take time.
Oh, sure. Now we're gonna switch gears, folks. Okay. There's been a lot of things going on, right?
Yes.
In the last week. Before we get started, I will give them a little shout out. We really appreciate the Snob OS podcast crew, Nika and Terrence, for joining us was it last week or 2 weeks ago? And
2 weeks ago. Right.
We talked about all kind of good things. We got into some good conversation too, boy. Y'all were going back. I was just sitting back watching. Y'all was getting into it. But that was an excellent exchange.
We were getting into it about the verses and our personal opinions on how things were really going. That's really what that was all about. But anyway, they should have been on this show to talk about your big iOS update. I heard it wasn't really all that flattering, that y'all really didn't have anything. So while you talk about it, I'm going to drink my juice as I always do. And you just tell everybody what's going on.
Look, so this happens every single year, and us folks in the iOS Apple ecosystem know that it's coming, right? We know if you haven't saved up your little dollars to either buy a new iPad, buy a new phone, or watch, you're going to be wishing that you had. Typically, that's been the case. This particular year, Tim Cook gets up there, does the virtual announcement.
I'm gonna drink my juice as I always.
Oh, see, now you got feedback. Why you got feedback when I'm
being ghetto, I'm being unprofessional, and I'm pretty sure somebody's watching is gonna make a comment saying, you're supposed to have your phone on voicemail. So, have it on vibrate. I already know the text is coming, so keep going. I'm sorry, keep it going.
So the announcement that happened, I think it was last week, was purely tablet based. Well, primarily tablet based. So a new iPad Air was announced, which is kind of just an upgrade, really, in terms of processor speed and things like that, and from a performance side. So it's a decent incremental step up, but in terms of functionality, in terms of really size, and in terms of really the weight compared to some of the other ones. It's not really enough to move the needle to make someone want to go, in my opinion, to make someone want to go out there and upgrade from like a 2020 iPad Pro to this new Air. The new watches that came out, again, not very much in terms of an upgrade. I've got a 5 and the 6s came out and the 6 SE. The only real advantages of the brand new one are some uh, health monitoring apps. So, right, so monitoring the blood oxygen. Now, monitoring blood oxygen is obviously critical and very important, especially when you start thinking about folks that are suffering from COVID and suffering from some other illnesses and maladies, but and also when you're trying to track your fitness goals. But is it enough to make you go out there and spend $300 for this new watch when literally you can go out there and get the 5 and you'll be just fine? Not very exciting.
But
What
go ahead. I want to hear it. Go ahead.
well, so no, what was exciting and what was different was Apple is now starting to really get into the focus of not just hardware, but services. So there was the announcement of what they're calling Apple One. Apple One is going to be a bundle of services that includes their Apple Music, Apple TV, Arcade, News Plus, Fitness Plus, and iCloud. There's actually going to be a bundle that you can pay 20 some dollars a month that will have all of those services bundled into one, and you can share that out with your family. That's exciting because that's that incremental revenue when folks get tired of buying the same candy bar style iPhone every single year, right? You can't you just can't upgrade an iPhone every single year. But what you can do is provide some value added services to the folks that are already in that ecosystem and get that incremental revenue. That's pretty exciting. That's going to be coming out in the fall time, so probably next month. All of those will be available, and again, you can share that across your family. As far as the phone goes, we're hearing rumors that the 12 will be kind of in a trio. There'll be a 12 mini plus and a regular 12. Uh, Around October the 13th is what we're hearing right now in terms of an announcement of that. On that announcement date, then you'll be able to pre-order it and then probably availability in November. So long story short, everything being said, the iPad announcement from Apple was mediocre. It was definitely incremental. Uh, I normally go out and buy these things, but I didn't. What I did do was I upgraded my iPad. I had an older iPad Pro, and I upgraded to the 2020 version, not this Air, just because there was no need for me to get that. I wasn't as impressed with that one, but uh, who knows? I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get the new watch. I've already got a decent watch. I may get the phone if it's really compelling in terms of feature and functionality. But I'm about 30% sure I'll buy something new.
Now, in all fairness, we look at these brands and we look at these products from Sony to Microsoft to Apple to LG to HP to Dell or whoever. Every year, it's even Mavic Mini and A10 Black Magic Design. When we look at these products, they always give you something that's so. The first one that comes out is like, man, this is so dope. I gotta have it. And then a year later, they add one or two more features, and they charge you another $200 on top of the original price point that you had. And so you're entitled. Or I think that you're entitled to have an off year. It's almost kind of like what Snob OS was saying 2 weeks ago. I skipped a generation. And unfortunately, I mean, I'm a first generation when it comes to all of the tech and stuff like that. And I need to be better to say, you know what? I don't necessarily need to have this every single year. Can I go a year, 2 years tops and skip? So I think, for example, I had the V30. And then I jumped to the V40, and then I skipped the V50, and then went with the V60, if that makes sense, for the LG phone. So every year I was getting a new phone, and then last year I said, no, I'm going to wait for the foldable. And when Sony dropped, not Sony, but when Samsung dropped their $1,700 foldable phone,
yeah, man,
that was like, no, I'm not dropping $1,800 on a phone and you were having problems with it. So I waited, and then when the V60 came out, it was in a price point that I felt very comfortable with, and then you go from there. Yeah, so you're just in a position, shall we say, to where skip this year, put that money up, pay a couple bills down, get your credit cards down low, raise your credit score up another 50 points, and then you already got the home ownership, you already got rent property. So I mean, go invest in a wine.
There we go.
Go invest in some wine or something like that.
See, that's the voice of reason. What's going to happen, as long as it's not priced at that $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 range, I'm gonna end up getting the phone. I'm gonna get it just because we're technologists at heart. We got to have it, and we got to write about it. We got to talk about it. So for that particular reason, so Daddy's got a little bit of a slush fund saved to the side. Mama doesn't always know about to pay for some of these expenses. So that's what that's going to be.
Zaddy. Go ahead, Zaddy.
let me answer Tammy's question about this. So do you have to be an Apple customer to share? Yeah, all of these services are strictly on iOS. So it's cross sharing across the Apple ecosystem. You couldn't share between Apple and Android. It's got to be all Apple that you share these particular service with that you see I got on the screen right here. We'll see. That'll be interesting to give it a shot. I'm already a subscriber to Apple Music. I've got TV Plus free through Verizon for a year right now. Obviously, I have iCloud for my storage, and I've got News Plus because man, we got a little riff. We got some things going on in the back channel. Hey,
go ahead, put it up, man. Go ahead, put it up.
So folks watching, if you were a sponsor on Patreon and you supported the channel, you would be in the back room and you can see some of these things that are being put in the back room here. I lost my complete train of thought. More likely about Apple.
Go ahead, put it up, man.
This bundle service, I will go with the Premier just to let folks know that I am fully in the cult of Mac. Oh my God! Look at this brother here. This is my boy Andre right here. I talked him into buying a Tesla a couple of months ago. So
you got a Tesla, you got the home, you got the cabin that got burnt down that you got blueprints on. You got the iPhone, you got the Apple Watch, you got some new earbuds.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, look. I'm trying to keep the economy going, brother. Look,
I'm just trying to get like you, man. Hey, look, I need to move on the West Coast. What am I missing out here in the South? That's what I'm. Zaddy. Hey, Zaddy. I'm over here with Uncle Clifford's rules. That's all I got over here. I'm just Uncle Clifford.
Okay. See, we deviating right now. We deviate. I'm trying to keep us on point here because I don't want to be the butt of nobody's jokes, but it's all good.
Some people may not know who Uncle Clifford is, so just P Valley. That's all I'm gonna say. P Valley.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. See, my boy, I got you, brother. It's coming, Dre. I know. Damn. You did you read our show notes? Do you have access to our Evernote file? Because you asking some questions. So that's the Apple launch. I rated about a B-, right? But the diehard fanatics are going to still be jumping all over the iPad Air. It's going to sell out as soon as it's actually physically in the stores. Whatever. We'll see. We'll come back in November when the actual phone comes out and talk about that. What you got, brother?
What happened to the screen? There you go. The big thing over the last week and a half has been PlayStation. It sold out in a matter of minutes.
How you look?
Like he's feeling good now. Okay, go ahead. You hit that grand slam, brother. I see you. Big thing has been PlayStation and Xbox. So the big thing is the holiday season is coming around. They've been teasing with Xbox, PlayStation. There was a cat and mouse game of who was going to jump first. Xbox kind of put it out there saying that they put out their pricing for $4.99 for the Xbox Series. PlayStation turned around and had their launch event, and they released the digital version for $399, which is 400, and some change, or the physical disc version for $500. When PlayStation did their launch event, they said it was the pre-orders were going to go on sale the very next day, that Thursday. But what ended up happening was GameStop, Target, Best Buy, Walmart, and Amazon all put their pre-orders up on the day of the launch and sold out in minutes. And Walmart the very next day turned around and did another pre-order, said that they were going to do it at 9:00. And when I tell you, in less than a minute, if you were putting in your credit card information and you didn't have 40 words per minute, you were out of the game. So I called myself saying, I know how Best Buy and Walmart is. You can't pick it up on the day of. When you do these pre-orders, they ship it to you. You can't pick it up in store, or at least that's what I thought. Yeah. So I said, well, I'm going to wait on the day of November 12th when it releases. And all of a sudden, because, when the game releases on the 12th, they're going to ship it out to you. You'll get it on the 13th as opposed to the 12th. So I physically wanted it in my hand. So I said, I'm going to wait. Well, Walmart is saying due to social distancing, they're not going to have a walk-up type situation. So I don't know if they're going to do another pre-order situation. But because of COVID and they don't want the long lines, Walmart has said they haven't figured out how they're going to do with the actual physical copies that they have in the store. Because people are probably going to be camping out for 3 or 4 days just to get this.
Oh, definitely.
And I don't think I'm willing to do that. I'm trying to see if I can find a kid that'd be willing to, sit out.
You're gonna pay somebody?
Hey, I can't do it. If I can't get it on the 12th, you know what? I got this PS4 with NBA 2K21 that I'm not really happy of or with. So I'll just be playing that for a couple of weeks. And then when it comes and it's available, I'll get it. But to be honest with you, I'm telling parents now, if you're watching the show, yes, it's a dope product as far as the fast speeds, the terabyte, the solid state drive, the resolution. But I mean, do you have a 4K TV? Do you have, it's above its time. So unless you're like me, like that's a first generationer that likes to buy the products, you could probably wait a little bit. But, kids are going to want it. It doesn't do too much more other than the speed, shall we say, outside of what the PlayStation 4 is doing. There's very, very few changes. The Xbox Series X also did their pre-orders yesterday. And here's the confusing thing about that. They got an Xbox One X, and then now the new one that comes out called the Xbox Series X was released yesterday. People bought the wrong system. The wrong system on Amazon. They're thinking they got the Series X and they ended up buying the One X. So if you are not really a gamer and you a parent, like, I got it for my kid, make sure you go back and you make sure you got the new one, as opposed to the kid opening it up on Christmas talking about, I already got it.
Kid be hot too, right? Kid be hot. So let me ask you something about this, because you're into the gaming world more than I am. I'm not sure if my son is on right now. He may be on Twitch doing his thing with his buddies. But so there's two systems, one that has the physical disc that you insert and one that's all streamed off.
It's a digital version.
Internet.
Correct. Which
one of those two mediums do you prefer, right? Would you prefer to have the physical disc, or would you prefer to why?
Yes, because with the digital version, it's almost like your iPhone. You get the choice of getting the 8 gig, the 16 gig, 32 gig, the 128 gig. When you max out, you now have to buy an external hard drive, correct?
Okay.
Whereas if you go pay the extra $100, you have the physical disc. And when you have the physical disc, one, it's a keepsake. Number two, Two, you have it as it's not putting all that memory on that on the actual console, shall we say. And you got to remember, you're downloading movies, you're downloading pictures, videos, you're screenshotting some of the game, you're running recording the game like your son is doing. That's all building up memory. So right now, because it's new, just like my new laptop, I got the maxed out laptop, but 5 years from now, I got to dump all that footage. I do 2 live streaming shows, and I record their show, and then I also have a local copy on my computer. So I really have 2 copies. How many people really know to go in and delete all of that stuff? So
nobody.
5 years later, you're like, my memory is maxed out. I got to go buy an external hard drive. And not, the mind is not trained to go out and say, all right, this 32 gigs is designated for this 32 gigs is designated for that. So just buy the disc, pay the extra $100. It is what it is. The one thing that I don't like is the controllers and the games have all raised up another $10. So instead of $60 for the games and the controllers, you're now paying $70, $69.99. So
you can't use the existing controllers either?
No, this is a whole new console, whole new system.
No.
It's no different from PlayStation to PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. They all had different controllers. So none of them were compatible. So, I mean, it was only compatible for that console.
Okay. That's a little excessive. And I guess another reason that benefits having the physical disc is you're probably going to have a really decent internet connection, right? You're going to have some serious bandwidth if you're going to be streaming high resolution first person shooter type games or whatever they may be, right? So if you go with that one that's completely diskless, that has to be taken into consideration.
No, I mean, you got to think, how many people are really streamers? When you think about it, streaming, your son is probably in the 5 percentile that's doing streaming with their games. Now, playing online is totally different.
Okay, I didn't know. So educate me, brother. I like this.
So whether it's Xbox or it's PlayStation, remember, you have the people that play online. So you got to have a decent internet connection. You don't have to have fiber. You don't have to have that, but you're playing online with your friends and stuff like that. I remember when PlayStation was first starting out with the online gaming, and it was really glitchy. And, like I said, I was 16, 17 years old. Now look at where it is now. Like, you got full on headsets, you got web cameras, you got 3D goggles, all kind of stuff. So whereas back then it was just in the beginning stages. Then you got what your son does. He does online gaming and he streams. So like the world is just now being introduced to live streaming. So he is literally streaming the game, probably posting it on YouTube. He's probably posting it on Twitch. So he's doing his live gaming and he's also recording the game as well. So then that's how he gets his Patreons. That's how he gets his followers or whatever, however the Twitch system works. So that's two separate lanes. And then you got guys like me who may play online because I have that PlayStation Plus membership, but I play against the computer. So I'm not really playing online all the time against other people.
I got you. So
the average person is not going to be playing online.
So the moral of the story, know which lane that you fit in, and make sure you buy the right one, parents, because you don't want the young children to be upset come December. You gonna get it, aren't you?
It should say PS5, the number 5, not 4, or it should say Xbox Series X. So don't buy the one that says 1X. Make sure it says Series X.
Which one you getting?
Oh, I told you I'm Team Sony all day.
I know you're gonna get it, but you gonna get it, right? You gonna stand in that line?
No.
You're gonna stand in that line.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you. Yes,
no,
you're not. You said you was gonna pay
somebody.
Tallboy.
You see this logo? We don't do lines. I don't do lines. I'm sorry.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see. You'll be one of the first ones to have it. You'll be at GameStop at 6 a.m.
Now,
3 hours before
hey,
they
look,
open.
I called in favors. I'm calling in favors to see who can make
Okay.
the magic happen. But standing in line, if I'm not one of the first 10, nah. I'm sorry. Atlanta, we have this bourgeois culture, shall we say, where
Oh.
people don't like to stand in line. See, you like to stand in the line with your girl, going to the club.
No.
No, Tallboy walks backstage and he walks right on in. And I'm not trying to be cocky. That's just not what I do. I just don't. Tall boys just don't do lines. And I'll say this, and it's funny because I went to an event where Kevin Hart and some other big names were at the Fox Theater here in Atlanta. I called myself saying I'm gonna stand in the line. One of my coworkers at the time, who is a big time rapper in your generation, he
That seemed
said,
like a shot.
no. He's a legend. He's a legend. I'm not gonna say his name, but I was standing in the line and I saw him walking up, and I said, "Hey, what's up?" And he says, "What you doing in the line?" He says, "We don't stand in lines." I said, "Well, I'm just waiting my turn." He says, "We don't do lines." He walks boldly with him, his wife, his daughter, and he said, "You come with me." We walked to the door. He knocked on the door. He said who he announced who he was.
Yeah.
You know the name.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "Oh, come right on in." The line was wrapped around the Fox Theater. I would not have made it. Next thing you know, I'm sitting on the front row because I was with him. And I said, "You know what? You have to have that mindset." And that's just what it is. The mindset is Tallboy don't do lines.
I'm gonna go ahead and just acknowledge that. Look, I have experienced the tall boy experience a number of times, and I've got to get up close and personal with more A-list folks than I normally do. I don't do too bad myself and back in the past, but let me let y'all know who's watching right now. When you're rolling with Corey Tallboy Sanders, it's a whole nother level. So much props, much respect to you doing what you do. So
Okay,
we
Zach.
have to do that again. We have to do that again. we definitely have to do that again once the world opens up. We definitely have to do some more trips. Let's keep moving. So we talked Apple, we talked gaming. I don't want to talk about TikTok right now. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'd rather talk about something fun. Let's talk about LG. Look. We both love consumer technology, and we both love mobile devices.
Okay.
Tell us about that LG Wing, man. That thing has me just intrigued. I've been looking at stories about that ever since you told me about it not too long ago.
So here's the funny thing. I wake up one morning and I see one of my favorite YouTubers that I watch. He talks about this wing, or I see it, and I'm like, who wants a phone like that? That's what I'm thinking, right? Last week, more videos start coming up on this thing called the LG Wing, and I'm like, well, let me check it out. Let me see what it's all about. So really, it's really designed for people like me who are videographers or content creators. I don't know why my phone keeps going off because I have the volume down, but it keeps going off. So I do apologize. So anyway, I check it out. And this phone, as you see, it's a regular phone. I have everything down. I don't know why it keeps going on. Anyway,
you act like you new to this or something. You don't know how to mute.
I'm turning it down. It still keeps beeping. I don't know.
Audio, visual.
Okay. So this LG Wing is a regular phone, and as you can see on this image, the top portion of the phone or the top screen, it swivels out into a perpendicular landscape mode version of almost like a gimbal, shall we say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, it's a gimbal, so it's almost like, yo, this is really dope. And I just bought the phone that's in my hand, the LG V60. It's the foldable phone. So it's like, yeah, you got the two screens, but then can you imagine the phone just turning sideways and you can use it? So as I was doing my research on it, and I just turned my specs off on my phone, so I do apologize for that. I can't get nothing right. Everybody wants to hit me. This is so unprofessional. I do apologize once again. But the LG Wing is the first phone in the manufacturer's Explorer project, promising innovative designs in the smartphone space. The feature here is that the second screen pops out from the back to sit at a perpendicular angle to the main screen. But another noteworthy design decision is the 32 megapixel pop out selfie camera hidden at the top of the rear half. One of the features here is that the second screen that pops out from the back, I don't know why this person keeps tagging whoever it is. It's let me see. The photo video capabilities is in this regards includes a joystick for controlling the camera angle, a lock mode to reduce the blur and judder, and follow functionality for smoother video when on the go, and a pan follow mode for horizontal movement, and a first person view mode for rhythmic and dynamic movements. So instead of you having the phone like this and you got that camera shake, you got that phone like this, and it's kind of like a gimbal. And remember, the phone is turned. Man, if this guy doesn't stop, I don't know what is going on. Yeah, so basically, this phone is one of those situations where you're walking and it's almost like you have a professional gimbal in your hand.
Yeah,
that's you reduce that anti-shake, you reduce all of that good old stuff. So I mean, all the problems of you got the shaky hand, all that is gone, or it's reduced tremendously, shall we say?
Yeah. One of the things, a few of the things that I like about this is, yeah, it's a big phone, right? It's we're showing here 6.67 inches. So it's a decent sized phone, but the fact again that it has so much of that functionality built in, right? When you rotate, when you swivel that screen, you've got that built-in gimbal. So there's one extra piece of hardware that you don't have to have in your backpack, right?
Right.
You've got three cameras, 64 megapixel standard camera, 13 megapixel ultra wide, and another 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. That's insane compared to anything else that's out there.
Here's the thing about that, though. And this is the one thing, even though it's 64 megapixels and 32 megapixels, all that's cool. That's JPEG. Yeah. But see, what if you want to edit the video? I mean, edit the photo. It doesn't shoot in RAW mode. And that's the part that you have to find out. Will it allow a photographer?
Well, there's just an app. No, you just install something like an Adobe product or whatever the case may be, right? You can you've got to be able to shoot in RAW, right? And every phone today has an app, or every manufacturer makes an app that's cross-platform, iOS and Android, that allows you to shoot in RAW. So it may not be built in, but yeah, you'll pay the $4.99 or whatever to buy that upgraded app as opposed to a built-in camera app.
The pricing for this is they said it's right around $1,000. But they have not released the pricing for the United States. But they said in Korea, they were releasing it for right at $984. The cool things about this phone, it does have wireless charging, an expanded storage of 2 terabytes. And then you can get the internal storage of either 128 gigs or 256 gigs. So you get your choice of 2. It's funny how these phones are just increasing in the internal storage. When we first got our phones back in the day, you had a 16 gig, 32 gig, 64 gig. Now it's like the standard is 128 and 256. The gimbal, unfortunately, the feature for the gimbal does not work with all of the rear cameras. It only works with the 12 megapixel ultra wide big pixel camera. And it lacks the 3.5 millimeter port. So if you're trying to put some headphones in there, you lose that and you lose the quad DAC. So that's the unfortunate thing about that I don't like. And it's splash resistant, not water resistant. Whereas this one, you can take a shower with this one and you're good. Whereas that one, it can get a little bit of rain on it, but then after that, you may cause some water damage. So
that's good. That's good to know, right? I mean,
and I think a lot of people are like, oh, that's a cool phone, but it's not like I'm taking a shower. I'm talking I'm taking a shower and I'm on my phone. I'm not doing that, or I go swimming. But just say you go to the beach and you have this phone and you're thinking that it can do X, Y, and Z. It won't allow you to do that. So so just be mindful of that. If you are saying that's a cool phone, I would like to have that. It's not. I don't think it's a great toy to have. I think some people will get it. I was debating on jumping out of this phone and going into that. But once again, like your dilemma that you're dealing with iOS, it's like, I just got this phone in March. What do I look like 6 months later, 7 months later, going into a new phone? It's cool to have, but
want versus a need.
What all do I need? I don't have to have every single thing. Like God has blessed me to where I am. I don't have to have the newest and greatest of every single thing, even though I want it, though.
Even though you want it. So, LG, if you are looking for
our brand ambassador
viewers, brand ambassadors, I gave you Tallboy's email address, and you can definitely reach out to him. I'm sure.
Now, look, I'm Team LG. I had an experience with the LG G5. I have the phone in the other room. I had an experience with them. And we were at CES, and I went to the LG booth, and I just went up to a random person that worked at the LG booth, and I told him I was having this problem with the phone. And, we're blessed to be able to go to CES, and we always talk about it in our shows. But I literally went to the booth and said, hey, I don't know you, but you got on a shirt and, you got on a suit. Can you help me? Come to find out, he was trying to look at the phone, try and dissect it. He wasn't a tech person or technical support, but he was literally saying, I don't know why this phone does this. Come to find out, he gives me his card. He's the vice president of LG. Didn't know who he was. He said, you know what? We'll just write this one off. So I had my regular phone, but he sent me another one right out of their corporate headquarters. So my thing was the customer service. I had a problem. I found the right person just by luck, by chance. He couldn't figure it out himself. And ever since then, I left Samsung and I've been with LG since.
Okay. Well, brand loyalty. That's a good story. That's a good story. Because, that's what drives the whole acquisition, right? I mean, you're going to share that with folks within your sphere of influence, and they're going to hear it. They trust you as a subject matter expert and as an evangelist. So people are going to resonate with that as well. They're going to at least take a look at it, right? They may be going in looking at Samsung or whomever else, but they'll be like, Tallboy has had a great experience with LG. Why not? Let me go at least give him a look at. And honestly, this I don't want to call it the flip phone, but this wing is something pretty compelling. It's pretty compelling. I don't know if I'm gonna switch and go back to Team Android, but I'm gonna at least look at it. Right. I'm at least look at it. Look, when it comes to the shop,
you would only do it to stun on me, just to be like, look, Tallboy, I got the latest.
That would be the only reason too. I'd be like, look, I got it. And I text you like you were texting me at 1 o'clock last night. I text you the same thing and say, look what I got. It's all love here, brother. It's all. This is family, right?
Don't get
the stutter.
Speaking about chat, tell me what you got. I heard you got some new earbuds or something like that. Can you talk about that?
Well, damn, you're just gonna skip over TikTok, even though we didn't want to.
No, we're gonna go to TikTok. We'll go there, but it was a great transition. You just said you got something that I got. You gonna tell me something that you got. So come on now, talk about these Zen. What's so big about these Zen buds that Andre keeps saying, I want more info? Because I don't know what it does. I saw it on your Instagram.
you saw me, doing my little thing, sponsored, not sponsored athlete, but sponsored,
Sponsored
sponsored
athlete.
spokesperson. Well, I am for some
You
other company.
dunking on
Hold on.
somebody? You shooting
Let me,
food?
uh,
You run
ladies,
track?
ladies, and gentlemen, Genius Brand Greens here. This is what you look. I got some stuff in here. Let me say, I keep it regular. So, and I got some things. I digress. Let me go in. So I got into a early Indiegogo campaign. I need absolute silence when I sleep. Okay, I'm a very light sleeper. Even like so, if there's something happening, if the air conditioner comes on, whatever, I'm gonna be up and I'm gonna be kicking folks in the bed. Look, Jen just has a hard time if there's any noise. Sony used to have something called their sound buds, which were amazing, right? They blocked out all kind of noise. They blocked everything out. They played little ambient sounds, little white noise, pink noise, and this and that. They fit in your ear perfectly. You can sleep in them. They didn't stick out, like these AirPods or anything. Not Sony, I'm sorry, Bose. Bose had the sound buds. But what happened was they started having issues just across the board. The whole batch of them started not charging, having problems keeping the charge and actually working and connecting with the app. So Bose as a whole just completely discontinued the line of their sleep buds, which was horrible for a lot of folks. Fast forward to 5 6 months ago, Amazfit had an Indiegogo for these Zen buds, which was their answer to the Bose, and I just got them yesterday. I plugged them in this morning, started charging them. They are. I haven't slept with them tonight. I'll sleep with them on. They so far I've tested them out just a little bit. They're amazing. I'll just put it that way. Very small, very compact, fitting the ear, incredibly comfortable. Incredibly comfortable. They've got all the functionality that the Bose had plus more. Right? They have the ambient sounds, the pink noise, white noise, everything. There's an app that you can install on your phone, Android and iOS. Um,
Okay.
they allow you to integrate with whatever health ecosystem you're using too. So on iOS, it integrates with Apple Health. So tracking your sleep, that's incredibly valuable, right? You want to track the quality of your sleep. So I configure that whole environment, and tonight I'll be able to track what type of deep sleep or what type of quality sleep that I'll get. Um, the pricing right now, as you see on their website, because they're outside of the Indiegogo, is a little bit more. So I got them for half this price, but $150 compared to anything else that's out there is phenomenal. Why? Because there's nothing else out there. If you need quiet when you sleep, if you're a light sleeper, or, you got someone next to you that snores or whatever, you gotta at least take a look at these Amazfit Zen Buds because everything that they're saying on here is not marketing fluff. Again, I was in
So you
between
slept.
meetings today. No, I was gonna say. So I was in between meetings today, and I charged them up and I put them in, and I pretended like I was actually during sleep. Turned on the ambient sounds and everything. Had that running, completely comfortable. Don't even feel that they're in your ears. You can actually set it to notify you. So should you get a call on your phone, you can't answer a call with the earbuds, but you can get the notification. Apparently, you can get a tone in your ear saying you got a call on your phone, which is kind of cool, right? Because the Bose didn't have that. It was completely removed from your mobile device, and the Bose also didn't have that integration with your health metrics and your health analytics. So uh, stand by and stay tuned. I will know more
What
effectively tonight. I'm going to work out after this, and then I'm gonna get some good sleep. Hopefully, I'm gonna put these in,
what kind of
and man,
noises do they make? Is it like a air? Is it like a wind? Is it like a rain? Like what kind of
oh
noises
man.
do they have?
Well, let me see here. Let me see here. Let me see here. Hold on. Wait a minute.
And the
Let
price
me
point is
fire up the.
140, and the price point is one forty
Yeah,
nine 99. And this now that
yeah.
was the early bird Indiegogo price, or is that the price
No,
that's currently?
that's the price currently. So I paid $60 for them. Early
Okay.
bird. So as soon as they released, I paid $60 for them, and got them off of Indiegogo. Let me see here if I can find what those ambient sounds are. And I probably can't because they're actually upstairs on the charger. But it was like running water. It was um, white noise, pink noise. It was like a running stream, that kind of thing. So all those calming sounds, all those sounds that you would typically get from an app like Calm and all those meditation types of apps, right? So things that'll actually slow the mind down and slow your thinking down. So all of that's actually integrated within this application. Plus the fact that it integrates with your health ecosystem is just an extra benefit. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting noises to keep everything else out and very calming sounds. But the fact that it integrates with my help applications is what I got.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
So
man, that's my recommendation. I'll let you
if
know tomorrow.
anybody's interested, where can they find it?
Right here at this site right here. I'll put a link in page right here, but they are, like I say, officially released now. Folks that were part of Indiegogo are getting theirs this week. So there we go. Amazefit.com.
Okay, amazefit.com. Okay. All right. Well, we only got a few more minutes, and I want to go ahead and we got three more things we got to try and hurry up and get in. So I don't know if we're going to get it all in, but you transition into TikTok. So you want to talk a little bit about this TikTok situation with your president?
They see, don't move, don't. I got no relation to 45. I can't nothing good to say about the man and living on Pennsylvania right now. TikTok is I don't use the application. I do have it installed just because again, we got to know about it just because that's what we do. So TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, all that stuff. I use Instagram a lot, but the whole TikTok dilemma and situation, right? Folks know, right? They were supposed to be shut down. They were supposed to be removed from the U.S. app stores. Why? Because TikTok is a Chinese-based organization. So 45 and his administration have issues with that, thinking that there's national security issues, possibly tampering with the election. Maybe so. Maybe so. So I'll give that the benefit of the doubt. What has happened is, as you guys probably know, many organizations here based in the United States have put in their offer for the U.S. operations of the company. A lot of them were incredibly high for I think the valuation of that company and of the product and of the service, but end of the day, it looks like Oracle has won out in terms of being able to acquire the US based operations of TikTok, which Oracle makes no sense to me. Unless Ellison is trying to integrate this into the overall CRM, into the overall database application and platform, it just makes no sense to me for Oracle to own TikTok. I don't see the synergy there, but again, I don't sit in those conference rooms with him, so I'm sure he has some clue in terms of what he's trying to do. The app was supposed to be removed from the app stores, Google and iOS last week. That did not happen. There was an injunction filed by TikTok, but now it looks like that is still possibly going to happen on September 27th, where 45's administration has stated that at that particular time they're going to start banning the use of TikTok and WeChat. There's another injunction that's been filed by the TikTok organization trying to block that. Needless to say, it's getting incredibly complicated now. I believe Walmart is involved as well, looking at acquiring some of the assets and intellectual property of the organization. Larry Ellison and Oracle obviously are in the driver's seat because they came with the winning bid and of acquiring the company. It affects the social media influencer market. It doesn't affect, I shouldn't say this, it doesn't affect reality.
No,
Right? I
you're
mean,
telling the truth. No,
right?
no,
Because
no. You
because
tell.
that's really where it is, right? It's folks that so when I say that, if you got Netflix, take a look at the Social Dilemma. The Social Dilemma is incredibly poignant in terms of how addicted society has come to these mobile devices and these services. I mean, it's
Correct.
conscious the way that the Twitters and the Instagrams or the Facebook have actually devised their systems. So when I say that this doesn't affect anything that's really relevant, but it's big news because it's sexy right now because so many folks are utilizing it. You've got celebrities that are using it for spreading their advertising and spreading their message. That's why it's important. If there's real security issues that are relevant to the United States, we will see. If there are, we will address those, I'm sure. But the reason I didn't want to talk about it again because it's so polarizing. There's so many different ways to go about it, right? You can go about it again. It's just social media influencers online talking about. I'm going out and dancing outside of my car, listening to some music. I'm doing line dancing with my friends, or I'm an advertiser and I'm selling this new outfit. And the only way that you can get 20% off is by you sharing these videos with your friends. Yeah, TikTok gets all of your information, but you opt into that when you sign up for the application. No one reads that. No one reads the EULA and user license agreement on these applications when they sign up for them, but we'll see how it all flushes out.
Well, they were
Let
saying
me
that
pause and let me breathe. What do you think? Yeah.
they were saying that TikTok said if they were banned for 2 months, up to half of its users in America would probably never come back. If the ban persisted for 6 months, 90% of TikTok's users would be gone forever. We live in a society where it's right now. It's
Yeah.
that the microwave society. We want it now, and like you said, these kids. This is what's hot, but how does it really affect you later on down the road? And to TikTok's defense, you download the apps every single day. You download you when you play video games, you opt into certain things. How many people, like you said, really read those contracts? So whether or not it's right or not, they said that about an hour ago, TikTok asked the judge to halt the Trump administration to download the ban. So we'll see how that plays out. So I don't use TikTok. I'm still, IG. I'm still trying to figure out Snapchat. And then TikTok came out over this winter/spring late last year, early this year, where it really got its buzz when the pandemic took over. So, I think it's just, if you like TikTok, you got to look at what they're saying, with the Chinese implications. But tomato in my world. This switch, there's a new thing with Facebook. We got to talk about that real quick. I sent you a text message late last night. You was like, "What are you doing up?" And it really
Yeah,
caught
1 o'clock a.m. 1 o'clock in the morning.
it really caught my attention because I'm trying to find it. Facebook will finally let you claim ownership of your photos. And I was really like, when I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning and saw that, I was like, whoa, 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 what? Because you don't own the rights to your photos. So they have this thing called the Rights Manager, and it uses image matching technology to help creators and publishers protect and manage their image content at scale. It's aimed at creators and publishers of all kinds, and it will work on both pages and your profiles. So you'll be able to add your content that you want to protect into a reference library called the Rights Manager. Rights Manager will then take it from there. So add your content that you want to protect it in a library, and then Rights Manager. So just Google Rights Manager if you guys are interested in this for photographers and videographers. And let me see. I just lost my train of thought here. It'll take finding any content on Facebook and Instagram that matches your face, that matches yours. So if it's your content, somebody else shares it, retweets it out, whatever, and they don't give you rights to it, you now can say, hey, that's my photo, that's my video.
Mm-hmm.
So that really caught my attention. You can choose if your ownership should apply worldwide or only in certain locations. And what happens when the rights manager detects your content or someone else's pages on someone else's page or profile? You can choose what you like to do. So you can request that Facebook monitors the content, attribute credit to you via an ownership link, or completely block it. And if you want, you can add a trusted partners and properties so they won't match your reference files. So I applied for this at 3:30 in the morning. I got an email back saying that I was denied, believe it or not, as much content as I create. So I'm wondering, are they only letting certain people do this? Are they only allowing, influencers get it first? Like, what is the real protocol? Because they said it was open to any and everybody, but I got denied. And I'm a content creator. I take photos and I do a lot of video. And you take my video, for example, I covered a very popular funeral here in Atlanta a couple of years ago. I took a photo and a video of the body. And I wasn't trying to be disrespectful at the time. I really wasn't. But when I posted it to Instagram, no one gave me credit. But you saw everybody in the video and the photo is still on YouTube to this day. And they got their logo all across the whole screen of the casket and of the video saying their media outlet. But they didn't give me credit. Now, I did take the photo and the video down per the request of the family, but others left the video and the photo up, and they're claiming ownership of the photo, and they weren't there. So something like this would be perfect for me because it would say, no, Tallboy is the owner or has the rights of this photo. So if it's you and you have a great photo that you have or that you want to say that you want your credit and someone doesn't give it to you, you can now say, no, only I get this photo and you can't share it, or you can share it, but you make sure my name is given credit. So that's something that we need to definitely pay a little bit of more attention to.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is a good thing, right? Especially for owners and their intellectual property, right? You're out there taking photos. You can either put a watermark on it or what, but you snapped the photo, you took the video, you own that, and when you post it and share it online, you should have every right to either monetize that or show that you own that. So I think this is a good step forward. Facebook's been in the news for a lot of negative things lately, and rightfully so. Right? Look, they've done some things that are questionable, but I think this is on the right path in terms of, again, making sure that any content that you create and post, you don't pay for the platform, the utilization of the platform, but if you create a piece of content, you still should have the proper rights of ownership for that piece of content, right? And someone should.
Most people just want credit. I mean,
I say someone should face the consequence for not providing the right attribution to. Right, the attribution is the whole thing that we talk about on the blogging side and the digital publishing side. Provide the correct attribution to the creator. Just put a link to my page, put a link to my Instagram site or whatever. Maybe hit me up on the Cash App, whatever, with a couple of dollars, whatever. But something that says, thank you for providing this piece of content, Tallboy. We recognize that you went through the effort and you put in the work to do it.
I think
it's good that Facebook is doing this.
I think photo and video etiquette has never been taught to people. And so since photo and video etiquette has not been taught, it's like, oh, well, that's a cool photo. Let me screenshot it. Let me post it. Let me crop out James or I am Tallboy. Let me crop that part out and put my name all over it. And it's mine. And, for someone who takes this business seriously, well, I was the one at that concert. I was the one at that event. I was the one that was at the beach or wherever. That's my work. And you're taking it. And that's not fair. So I think that this is something good that Facebook and Instagram is owned by Facebook. So this is definitely the platform for them to do this. Now, we may not agree with them, with the music, which I get it, but, you're about to shut down people's streams and shut down people's pages or delete their pages or their
Yeah.
profiles over the music, yeah, that's a legal issue. But something like this, I mean, I guess it's like if you're going to do the music, might as well do it for the photographers and the content creators as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, so that brings up that hits home, right? With you, right? Especially so your Try with Tammy show, right? She has a live DJ, or she used to have a live DJ actually playing a set in between Tammy cooking and everything. I would love to get those two maybe on the show here and talk about how this new requirement from Facebook is affecting their revenue, right? How is it affecting their livelihood? Because now I can't produce the show that I'm accustomed to producing, that my audience is expecting, because you're putting these limitations on me.
Well, the thing is, at the end of the day, we had this conversation at the beginning, and I'm pretty sure she'll chime in. Kenyon, you can say what you want to say. I've already explained. Kenyon is yeah, there you go. He said it's fake news. Our video streams have been deleted. I've literally witnessed it. Twitch was still going, but Facebook has been shut us down. And I told her in the beginning, look, you can do this, but how long will this last? And the DJ was sitting there like, do I keep going? What do I do? And I'm like, yeah, I still got you live on Twitch, but I don't have you live on Facebook. So whether people believe that they're going to start doing this on October 1st or not,
October 1st, yeah.
Yeah, that's on them. But I just, like I said, I refuse to, be the test dummy when it comes to that. I think DJs need to look into a service called Epidemic Sound. And even though it's not music that people can relate to, maybe you just start DJing some of the music there because you own the rights to that content because it's licensed free music. But I mean, what DJ is going to DJ some music that no one is not going to be popular? I mean, that they don't know the music to, or know they don't know that tune. We all know WAP, we all know Meg the Stallion. We all know Yo Gotti. So, hey, I get it. So like I said,
we will see.
Yeah, Kenyon. I love Kenyon because he really is an advocate for all the DJs. He's a good friend of mine. Yeah, he's an advocate, and he really tries to help the DJs say, "Hey, look, this is what you can, what you can't do." But it may not have hit you just yet, but it hit us. And Tammy can tell you if she's still on watching. Everybody was like, what happened? And I already knew what happened. So it was like, well, I've already had this conversation with you. I told you it was going to happen. So I wasn't surprised, but everyone else was surprised. And she has not been able to recover those streams. The good thing is I had a local recording, so we still have the stream if I ever wanted to put it back up.
Gotcha. Well, let's revisit this after the first of the month just to see how it goes. Yeah, and see how that works. It's unfortunate because again that was a real cool component of like Tammy's show, right? Just have that DJ set there. Hopefully something gets worked out.
Yeah. Lastly, before we get up out of here, you working on anything new toys outside of your Zen Buds?
I'm excited to go to sleep tonight. Yeah, so I can rock these Zen Buds, brother. You know what I'm coming back to, and I wouldn't pick this up again today, and it is tech related, doesn't look like it, but I'm coming back to this right here. It's called Rocketbook, right? It's essentially a reusable smart notebook. It comes with a specific type of pen. It's got a specific type of paper that's integrated with it, and it's a very thin book. But it has an application that goes with it. It has the ability to everything that you write gets transcribed and gets put into the application as an electronic document. You can there's two ways of actually recreating and regenerating this book. You can literally stick it in the microwave and put it in the microwave for a couple of seconds, and it'll erase everything. Or the preferred way now is just a warm cloth and wipe the pages off, and then you can continue to use this exact same book endlessly. So I just picked up this new one again today. I ordered another one. It's not digital. It's paper, but it's it's plastic paper, or it's got some form of technology integrated into the pages, and it's got to use a specific pen that comes with it. And as you write, there's actually a QR code at the bottom that you can actually move the content from the book into the application, and you can use OCR, optical character recognition, put that into Google Docs, you can put that into Microsoft Word, whatever, and have a digital copy of everything that you write. So I'm looking forward to
is it
getting
right
to
in your
this.
does it translate into like your signature, like your handwriting style, or does it translate into like text?
Both. So you can do both. You can draw, right? So I do a lot of whiteboarding and drawing for work. So being able to draw system configurations, being able to draw what a solution would look like, I can draw that in here and then transfer that into a digital copy, shoot that off into a PDF. I'm hoping. Says it integrates with Google Drive, Evernote, OneNote, Slack, um, Microsoft Notebook, and some others. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that. So yeah, I can
How much
actually
does it
have it.
cost?
So this one was the executive size, and it was the 6 inch by 8.8 inches. It was only $30.
Really?
And
And you can
again, I get
so
the
I
I
so
get the book, I get the pen, I get the free application that comes with it. Reuse, wipe the pages clean with water, and they include microfiber towel. Dude, this is where it's at. I'm not buying any more moleskins. I love moleskin. Shouts out to them. But look, I'm paying $30 one time, and I'm gonna use this book forever. I don't
how many
plan on buying
pages
a whole
does it
bunch of.
have? Is it just one page, or
No, this one has 36 pages.
you got to put
Executive
it up on the
size,
screen?
six
People
by.
can't see it, James. Come on.
See,
I know you're on the
look.
West Coast, man.
I'm an old man. I'm trying to look at it the right way. You see me trying to zoom in. There you go. Rocketbook, the Everlast. There was that right? Scan, reuse. See, remember I'm a Tesla man, so I like to recycle. I don't want to keep utilizing the Earth's resources. So I'm trying to
So,
repurpose.
so let me ask you, and we brought this
Yeah.
up last week about Snob OS and that Apple Pen or Apple Pencil. How would that compare to something like that?
I'm not going to take my iPad everywhere, but I can take this anywhere. Very convenient, very easy. Very similar, but not everyone is an iOS fan. Not everyone has an Apple product. Why that's $800 for or whatever the cost may be for an iPad versus 30 some bucks for this small Rocketbook. What you gonna do, right?
Well,
So
Zaddy got it. He gonna buy the pencil and the pen. I mean, and the tablet. So go ahead, Mr. Tesla. You got it. I got you.
you see
But
that?
Rocketbook, so
Okay.
it's $30, and they can buy it on
Yeah.
Amazon. They can buy it. Where can they buy it?
Yeah, so actually, I went to Staples. So you can get it at Staples. You can get it at Walmart. You can get it at Target, Amazon, or directly from Rocketbook. If you sign up for Rocketbook's emails, you get a 15% coupon immediately. So that's how I just bought my second one. I've used them before in the past with their first generation, where you could only microwave the pages up to 5 times, and then that was it. But this one, they say, is indefinite use of being able to utilize this exact same book. So I'm looking forward to giving that a shot.
That's dope. That's
Yeah.
something to look at. Yeah. Okay. That's what's up.
What you got?
So I just found out about this app, and everybody's on doing video now. They're doing live streaming now. I found a way to help people, shall we say, help people when you have a message that you want to say. I found a teleprompter app called Big View. Look it up real quick. Pull it up on the screen. It's a teleprompter app, and basically you write out the text, or you put the text into the desktop version, and then it will upload. You can upload it to your phone, or you can copy and paste whatever you want to say. You can size it up, and you can have it go to the left, the center, or the right. You can pick your speed. You can do a watermark. You can even highlight certain keywords or key sentences or whatever you want to call it. It's called Big View, and you can literally, that's your teleprompter, and because the words are already inside of the system, as you're talking, the words are coming out. So I mean, you can see them on the screen. So I just found out about this. I purchased it. Really impressed with it. Can't wait to play with it. I was playing with it this afternoon, and I was really impressed with some of the services. The only thing that I did not like is that you cannot do it in landscape mode. So they say that you can. I haven't figured it out yet. So I'm gonna have to probably reach out to customer support and see how you can do it. But they have 3 different modes to where you can put it in the vertical mode, the square mode, which is for Facebook, and then they said another mode. I forgot the horizontal mode or something like that. They said that it could be that, and you can also be in front of a green screen and use your own background. So you can be behind the lab. You can find a picture for the city of Atlanta as long as you got a green screen. You're reading it, and then you can have that background. So then when you post that video to your social media channel, it's a professional video, and and you have subtitles to go with it. So I was really impressed with this when I watched the webinar that they had on it, and I said, you know what, I need to jump on this. So it's going to hurt people like me that's a videographer, but the less people that know about it, I can use it as a service and help people out, because you're trying to help people with their lines. And what I've noticed is I tell people I'm gonna help you with creating a commercial for you, and they tell me, oh, I'm just gonna freestyle it. No, that's not the process. We're gonna write out your script. I'll help you with your script writing, and then now you have to memorize those lines. Most people, they've never done a commercial before. So since they've never done a commercial before, they're struggling. Well, this, you can read it right off of your phone. You can select your speed, and you can make it work. So, yeah.
Okay.
Big view.
I like that. I'm gonna take a look at that, because that's helpful.
And it's app based. Yeah, and it's app based. So I mean, yes, they have other teleprompter apps, Kenyon. But I think you might want to look into this one. You might be really surprised. Like, Kenyon knows I'm a techie, but I'm not iOS. I'm Team Droid. So, and there's some teleprompter apps.
But Kenyon is keeping you honest, for sure. I like that. He's keeping you honest.
It is what it is. This is what I do. So, I do this. It's Big View, and then the letter V, the letter U, Big View.
Yeah, let me put this out here for you so you can. Awesome, brother. Well, look, we did another one. This was a good show. We talked about everything that was timely, relevant news of the day. Got into a little touchy subject with TikTok and talking about your boy 45. That got me sweating over here. So I had to go off the screen for a minute, because I was starting to get excited and starting to get anyway. We're gonna get together again next week. We're gonna talk about something fresh and new. I'm gonna let everybody know about my Amaze Pods and how my Amaze Buds. I'm sorry, I better get the name right at least. And let everyone know, let you know how that experience was. Folks, keep up with us. Look, we trying to do this. We do this only for you, right? We bring non-biased information, and we tell the truth. We go long sometimes because there's a lot of information that needs to be shared. We're not bought by anybody. Look, if we like it, we like it. If we don't, we'll tell you we don't like it. And we love the engagement. So Kenyon, Tammy, Dre, everyone, folks, if you want to come on screen with us, holler at us real quick. We can definitely make that happen as well. We shoot every week on Wednesdays. We may be adjusting the schedule by about an hour, but we'll see how this goes. But we will continue to provide this information for you. That's all I can say, man. We just trying to do it, and we trying to make some positive impact for folks. So stick with us.
Hey, man, I second everything that you said. I think that at the end of the day, a lot of people, they like tech, they want tech. They just don't know how to work it sometimes. So it's
Yeah.
our job. And like I said, I'm not biased. Well, yeah, to a certain extent, but we will give you a fair review. And I mean, if there's a company that says, hey, let's try, would you like to try out our products? Hey, we'll tell you how we feel. Like you said, no one's not paying us to do anything. We're just giving you our honest opinions, and that's all that matters. He's Team iOS. I'm Team Droid. Before we go, I'm going to say this one last time. You know, you got an election coming up, so make sure you get out there and vote. And I'm going to leave you with these words, and then he can say whatever he wants to say before we close out. If you see something that is not right, that's not fair, not just, you have a moral obligation to do something about it. And that came from the words of the icon, the legend, the guy that paved the way for a lot of us, and that was Mr. John Lewis.